We interviewed a woman named Mina Parsan. She was a hidden Jewish child during the Holocaust that hid with Monsieur Barad, who is the man she is pointing to in our picture.
Life before the war. They lived in town and were free to play outside whenever they wanted. They lived in nice houses with their families, and they were treated like everyone else. There was barely any hate towards Jews.
But life during the war was very different. They were constantly scared. They were forced to wear the Star of David. Many of their rights were taken away, and some Jews pretended to have other religions so that they could live a normal life.
The consequences for being found outside after hours or running away was either to be shot on the spot or taken to a concentration or labor camp. What they could do was go outside while wearing the Star of David, work for the Germans to get more privileges, or create a fake identity to live like a non-Jew.
They couldn't ride their bicycles, go to school, even go shopping during certain hours, or be outside from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. They even had to ride the last car on the metro.
The Jewish children didn't understand what was going on around them. They didn't get why their friends stopped playing with them, why they were being treated differently than the others, or why they had to hide and live with people they didn't even know.
During the Holocaust, Jewish families would live with friends and strangers in places such as attics, cellars, closets, and secret rooms like the one shown here.
Mina Parsan was born on April 11, 1935. She lived in town with her mother, her father, and her older sister, Nali. They took summer vacations to a home by the ocean, and they lived in a nice house with a maid. In this picture, you can see Mina on the left and Nali on the right. During the war, they had to wear the Star of David. When they went into hiding, they took off their stars and they hid with Monsieur Brad, his wife, and their 5 children. They went to a Catholic school with the children and pretended to be their cousins. They stayed with the Brad family for 6 months before going back to Paris to be with their mother and father. In the picture, we have Mina on the right, Nellie on the left, and the 2 children in the center are 2 of the Brad children. After the war, they moved back to Paris to be with their mother and their father in a small apartment that had no plumbing and there was no transportation. They moved to Sacramento, California in 1949. Mina graduated from Berkeley College and Nellie graduated from Stanford. Nellie became a professor and Mina became a school teacher. Later, Mina was awarded the Palmes Académiques by the French government, which is a very high academics award.
Paris was liberated on August 24, 1944. The Jews were freed from the Holocaust, but many couldn't even stand up because they were so malnourished. And they were used to such small spaces, they weren't used to walking around.
After the war, they had lost most of their belongings. They didn't have anywhere to live, and they didn't know where their family was. So they were very scared. Also, they didn't have plumbing because of all the damage the war caused. Because they had no work, they had no money, and most of the children had to go to orphanages or boarding schools because they had been separated from their family.
In this picture, we have Mina and Nellie after the war with their new bicycles. This quote, "I'm a woman, but I'm still a hidden child," means even though she is a woman, she's always going to be a hidden child of the Holocaust, and that's going to be a memory she'll never forget.